Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be taking a look at the TKD Cycle 7. Every year, not even every year, every single time a new keyboard is being released, the keyboard hobby progresses. We are getting lower prices but more value in that keyboard. Today I have with me what I believe might be the peak of that price to value option. In my personal opinion, this takes over all the QKs, all the Zooms, all the Jerry's. This keyboard is insane. Let's start it off simple with what is included in this keyboard kit. Starting with our plate, what I have with me is a polycarbonate plate. In the kit, you will also find 3 different types of foam: a plate foam, a PE foam, and a case foam. And of course, we have our PCB. The PCB itself is a work of art. It looks absolutely amazing. The solder mask looks really nice. There's only 2 main flex cards on this PCB, which you can also cover up, which we will also be covering up, which is something we've never really seen in a keyboard, and I'll show you guys how it works later on. As for the specs of the PCB, what I have with me is a hot swappable PCB with south-facing sockets mostly. Some of it is north, but this is to configure for different layouts. And to top it all off, we have a set of stabilizers and a bunch of accessories that we will need to build this keyboard. So let's start building. Starting off with our PCB, I will install my screw-in stabilizers. As I mentioned, this is what I believe would be one of the most popular keyboards for the year of 2023. So for this keyboard, I am planning to do every single foam configuration. So I will start off with plate foam only because this keyboard is gasket mounted, and I believe a plate foam is what I would consider necessary when it comes to a gasket mounted keyboard. So I'm going to start off with a plate foam by itself. Afterwards, I'll throw in the case foam for a second sound test, and all 3 foams at the end for the final sound test. So yes, after installing my stabilizers and the plate foam, I installed my polycarbonate plate. So who made this keyboard? Cycle 7. It is by TKD. But who is TKD? It is actually made by Vertex and Equals. Equals is the one that makes your tangerines, and Vertex is the one that focuses on keyboards. They came together to found TKD, and now we have the Cycle 7. So for switches, we will be using the Vertex V1 Switches. I know I have been using it a lot, but they actually sent it over to me, a whole brand new batch of Vertex V1s, which I'm not complaining. I'm gonna use them. They are one of the best switches I've ever used. Now that we're done with what I would call traditionally building the keyboard, we have basically installed the switches, installed the stabilizers, installed the foam, and that's about it. This is where it usually ends, and we would just put the keyboard back together and screw it in. But no, currently what I'm about to show you is called PCB-plugs. When it comes to having a gasket mounted keyboard, having flex cuts is what we use to achieve a bouncier typing experience. But without any foam at the bottom and having flex cuts on your PCB, it actually does affect the acoustic of your board. So back then, we would be using the tape mod to cover up the flex cuts to make sure that the sound doesn't feel so hollow anymore. But what TKD wanted to do was create PCB cut plugs to replace the tape mod, and which they say is more effective when using compared to the tape mod. As I mentioned, this is a gasket mounted board. They actually provide 2 different ways to gasket mount this. The first one is the gasket bowl, the second one is the gasket strips. In my personal preference, I actually do prefer gasket bowl. It provides for a more flexier typing experience, especially when there's more foam being used. Gasket strips actually provide for more stable, but after putting in more foam, you will basically achieve something not so flexible. So yes, this is basically the build process you will go through when you're building this keyboard. We're gonna move on to our case now. This is a 70% FRL custom keyboard. This isn't very common. Compared to the traditional TKL, this actually emits the entire function row. It's basically a TKL without your function row. Based on their IC, they don't want to define what is minimalistic or what is high-end, but in my opinion, I find it pretty minimalistic and pretty high-end. It's really nice. The coating on it is perfect, and the weight itself is something of another world. We have 2 internal counterweights and 1 external PVD weight. And after going through all that, I have not reached what I would say is the best part about this keyboard. It does not use any screws, 0 screws, because it uses their easy assemble structure. What the easy assemble structure is basically a ball catch kind of system. All you have to do is basically use a little bit more force when you're removing it. It just makes it's basically a hot swap top frame. It's really damn good. It's so damn good. This is one of the reasons that I say this is gonna be the most popular keyboard, because of how easily accessible it is to just change out foam, change out switches, change out anything you want about the keyboard. It's just crazy. So I'm pretty sure most of you are dying to hear how it sounds. I'm actually going to be presenting 3 different sound tests. The first one will be a plate foam only, second one is plate and case foam, and the third one is with all foam, all with the same switches and same keycaps. I present to you the Cycle 7 by TKD. Keyboard's crazy, dude. I'm telling you guys, TKD Cycle 7 might be the most popular keyboard for the year of 2023. I absolutely love the keyboard. Everything about it just makes sense. You have the PCB flex card blockers. You have 2 different gasket mounts for your PCB. The sound it produces is just so damn good. The easy assemble structure. Keyboard's a 10 out of 10. Like honestly, to me it's a 10 out of 10. Speechless, alright. The cheapest one you can find is for $139 soldered. Yes, $139 soldered. If you're looking at a mirror PVD wireless hot swap TKD Cycle 7, that'll be $180, which is still crazy for what you're getting. I highly recommend this keyboard to a beginner. Anyone, I recommend this to anyone. This basically kind of reignited my passion for custom keyboards because I haven't experienced something new or something so just worth the money you're paying for. So yeah, the GB is currently live and I believe it will last for about 20 more days. So please do check out the link in the description down below. Thank you so much to TKD for sending over this keyboard, and they did not pay me to say this keyboard is good or anything. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you enjoy keyboard content and you want to know more about keyboards, you can subscribe. I do keyboard content. Comment your thoughts on the keyboard down below. It's so damn good. Yep. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.